Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to do a breakdown of the press conference with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time right now, subscribe to the channel. Just takes one click, and if you could, tell a friend, circulate the videos, let everybody know about fighting words and my particular style and take on the sport of boxing. Now, let's jump into this press conference. And it was something. Listen, Chris Eubank Jr., he's born for this. The only way this press conference could have gotten better, of course, the elephant in the room, if Senior were there. Chris Eubank Sr. was born for this moment. He was born for the spotlight. Not everybody has it. Muhammad Ali had it. Sugar Ray Leonard had it. Sugar Ray Robinson had it. Jack Johnson had it. Mike Tyson had it. Floyd Mayweather has it. Certain people have that thing. Guess what? Chris Eubank Sr. has that thing. He is the missing it factor for this promotion, for this fight, for that stage. He's the missing link. You want to take this thing from here to here, you just say, Chris, can you come? And here you go. Here's a microphone. It's live. Do whatever you like. Give him his own segment. Let him just run wild, run free, and that's all you need. That's the missing link. Chris Eubank Sr. But Junior held his own. Junior held his own. Junior has, over the last few years, really grown into the persona of that Eubank moniker, and he held his own. Yeah, you got two Benns over here, but man, that one Eubank held his own. Now, there were some things I didn't like about the press conference. I mean, Conor from the gate just wanted to make things personal. I didn't particularly like the comment about, his own daddy doesn't even like him. That's why he's not here. And I'm like, listen, if there's a low blow, that's a low blow. Don't, granted. So here's the thing. They're fighters. They say things. And their fathers are fighters. So it's kind of, technically it's fair game because their fathers are fighters and their fathers fought each other. And they're the ones who started out this feud. So technically it's fair game. So I'm not really mad at that. But it'd be one thing if Senior was present. And, now Junior has to kind of hold his head like, well, he isn't here. It's not as if he's lying. He isn't here. And there are video clips of my dad saying, we're not talking, and I'm not going to talk to him because he wants to do his own thing. So clearly there's a rift in the family, and clearly there is a divide. Now, is it right? No, but all is fair in love and war. It's war, and there are casualties in war. And it looks like Chris is going to have to endure many arrows that are going to come from the lack of having his father present. And that being said, he held his own. He not only held his own against Conor, he held his own against Eddie Hearn. He shut that down. Chris was just a one-man army, and he was going for blood. And like I said, if the fight is a tenth of what this promotion is going to be, these press conferences, and I hope they do 3. They need to do a world tour. How Conor and Floyd Mayweather did their world tour and then they fought. They need to do more than 1. They need to do more than 2. Everybody needs to feel the electricity of this event, of this fight, because it is a big fight. And it holds a lot of weight. Most fights, they hold weight because, these two guys just don't like each other. Or there's a belt on the line. There's something prestigious on the line. This whole weight holds weight because it spans decades. It holds a lot of weight. Chris Eubank Jr. spoke of how, when their dads were fighting, his dad was fighting Conor's dad, that, he got into a lot of fights at school just because of, the beef and the rift, and it divided the land. And, to take it even further, or go back a little further, Joe Frazier, his son, got into tons of fights, got kicked out of school several times, simply because of the things that Muhammad Ali said to his father. So, yeah, it goes back, and it's not like a surface beef. It's an internal beef because you don't know what I had to go through just trying to sit down in my math class because of these two guys. Like, so this is personal. Not to mention, Chris Eubank Jr. also said the first time they tried to fight, he said, I watched my dad, after they fought, and, he was in the hospital, he took a lot of damage, so he says, I can't forget that. I was there. I was present for that. And I'm old enough to remember that. So, not to mention, my dad already beat your dad, so I have to carry on the torch. Now, it is going to be hard, I think, psychologically for Chris because he's carrying on a torch by himself. That torch has been lit for many decades, and he has to carry it by himself. While you look at Conor, him and his dad couldn't be closer. They love each other to pieces. And like, those two are madly in love. He loves his son, and he adores his dad, which is an amazing thing. I love to see that. But it does feel a little one-sided. It does feel a little like, I don't want to say bullying, but more like ganging up on. Now, mind you, Nigel is a real gentleman, especially nowadays. He's a real gentleman. He's a man of faith. So he's a real gentleman. But that fire is still there. And that fire to protect, that fire to fight, and that fire to defend, not just the name, but also his son, is still there. And he was lit. He was ready to go. Even Eddie Hearn said, his dad's ready to go. Like, they're ready to go. So in a sense, how things transpired with the egg and all, that was just maniacal. Like, there's clips of Chris just tossing the egg in the air as he's walking down the corridor of the facility. And it's like, you don't think anything of these things, but it's Chris Eubank Jr. The name Eubank is synonymous, very spontaneous. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's going to say. You don't know how far he's going to take it. You don't even know if he's playing or he's dead serious. You don't know. That's part of the charm of the Eubanks. You don't know where the parameters are. You don't know if this is, fairy tale land or, the real world. You don't know. But that was real. That bad blood is there. When he smacked Conor with the egg, it was just like, okay. Both guys have something on each other. You're a drug cheat. Your dad isn't here and he doesn't love you. As an athlete, that drug cheat thing has got to hurt. It's got to sting. And you got to eat it. You have to eat it, whether you like it or not. You got to eat it. Then you look at the other side. Your dad doesn't even support you. Your dad doesn't want you here. It's not as if your dad was a regular dad or he was an accountant or something like that and then you are a fighter. No, your dad was a world champion, legend boxer. And he's not here. And I'm the son of the guy that he fought more than once. Like, yeah, that's got to sting. So both guys took some pretty large chunks out of the other. But that egg, I think Chris Eubank Jr. more than won that press conference. He owned that stage, and he owned Conor Benn. And, much like his dad, Conor, he can't really... Verbally, he's never going to win this match. He's never going to win against Chris Eubank Jr. And for the sake of the Benns in general, it's probably better Chris Eubank Sr. isn't there because him and Junior would literally run circles around Eddie Hearn, Conor Benn, and his dad. And like they would literally run circles around them. It wouldn't even be fair. It wouldn't even be a fair fight. So in a sense, I'm kind of happy Chris is by himself because that melee would have gotten a lot worse if you would have allowed Chris Eubank Sr. there and allowed him to do what he does best, rattle and ruffle feathers. Drop your thoughts down below.